Social media has been on fire lately, and one conversation after another has people across the internet speaking openly about race, history, and accountability in America.
Bro, white people used to eat us, and they got the nerve to clutch their purses when we walk past them? Like, what the f? They better be lucky I don't do this shit when I see them on the street. Oh, hell no. Hey, yo, why we running? Niggas, a white person coming and they look hungry. Oh, hell no!
Use words, they use bullets.
This is the man who shot Charlie Kirk. This is the man who shot Trump. This is the man who killed Melissa Portman. This is the man who tried to kill John Hoffman. This is the man who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. This is the man who killed an Obama-appointed judge's son. This is the man who hired hitmen to kill Democrats. This is the man who ran over a left-wing activist and killed her. This is the man responsible for the Austin bombing. This is the man who sent pipe bombs to Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton. This is the man who shot Gabby Gifford. This is the man who tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, and this man, and this man, and this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, and this man. This is the man who set Josh Shapiro's house on fire. This is the Oklahoma bomber. This is his accomplice. These are just a few of the men who beat police officers on January 6th. I can think of a few things they have in common, and it's not the way they use their words or their left-wing politics.
Viral clips, personal stories, and emotional reactions have been flooding timelines, with many people sharing experiences they say they've carried for years.
Y'all really surprised about what's going on in America? They used to eat us! Sorry. You put your trust in nigga stupid hoe, how you figure? I heard about say they're pulling us over, racially profiling us and sending us to jail. What? In America?
I made a video talking about the problems with Gen Z not being involved in the protests that happened. And in addition to that, it's especially worrying because of this trend of Gen Z being more conservative than millennials. And in response to that, I got a couple of comments along these lines referring to the fact that Black women mostly didn't show up to the protests, but they did so mostly for their own safety. And the thing that I have to say about that is, first of all, I completely understand why they didn't physically show up to the protests. No, they shouldn't have to. But I want to be so absolutely clear with everyone that just because Black women were not at the protests does not mean that they weren't involved. Because my friend and I are both comment on political topics like this, and we live streamed the entire protests. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that the majority of people watching and commenting on those protest videos were Black women. The Black women that didn't go to the protests for, mind you, safety reasons, because police tend to treat people who are protesting while you're being a person of color much differently. Black women still stayed informed, stayed engaged, and showed support and solidarity with the people who were out there protesting. So I hope that clears some things up. The issue on Gen Z not being as progressive as millennials and not showing up, I kind of view that as a separate issue. And if you are a Black woman, yeah, that doesn't apply to you for not showing up. But I do think that it's still something that we should all be more aware of, that Gen Z is more conservative than millennials are.
Some talked about being judged before saying a single word, being followed in stores, being questioned for simply existing in certain spaces, or being treated like suspects instead of customers.
Stop making everything about race. Oh my gosh, stop making everything about slavery. Like, you keep talking about slavery. It's not that deep. Do you know why they call it the master bedroom? You said you already know that one? Oh, okay. Do you know why they call it a picnic? Right. It also boils down to our genetic code, though. Black people, tell me why we run when we laugh. And don't say it's because we're too joyful.
We still cool white people right now.
You know, I'm probably the least qualified person to talk about this, but most people might look at what he said and think, oh my God, why is he mad about something that happened 200 years ago, dude? Get over it. The truth is, it's not actually about 200 years ago. It's about what never healed. Most people might look at the video that he made and say, oh my God, slavery ended almost 2 centuries ago. Why are people still angry? Here's the truth, dog, okay? Trauma does not disappear just because the calendar moves. Trauma gets passed down in families the same way eye color and height does. A grandma teaches her son how to survive in a world that treated her like she was less than human. That son teaches his child. The fear, the resentment, the distrust, it becomes culture when society never truly fixed the root. This is the truth, okay? White families, broadly speaking, get to pass down land, wealth, property, business, safety. Black families, again, broadly speaking, pass down survival skills, trauma, how to avoid getting killed by the police talks, pain, distrust. That's not 200 years ago. That's yesterday for them. That's yesterday for them. You understand? Bro, to be honest, and I could be wrong about this, I feel like the anger is not really about white people. It's about the system. Most black people don't actually hate individual white people. What they resent is the system that benefited white people, disadvantaged black people, and never fully corrected the imbalance. Put it like this, right? It's like if someone robbed your family for 10 generations and then said, let's forget about it, it's in the past. Meanwhile, they're still living in the house that they stole. That's what it feels like. The other thing too, bro, is that America never apologized, healed, or repaired.
One story that especially caught people's attention came from a woman who said, after spending her own money in a store, she was still accused of stealing. But instead of walking away quietly, she stood her ground, demanded accountability, and made sure her voice was heard.
Black people at this point, it's just time to move in silence. Whatever we do from now on, whatever we do to build our community, from now on, we cannot be putting it on social media. We can't be putting our ideas on social media because the people that's higher up are gonna try to have the upper hand on us. But when you don't put your business on social media and we keep it amongst ourselves and we move in silence, it scares a person. They don't know how to deal with someone who moves in silence. That's the problem with us as black people. We talk too goddamn much and we put our stuff out there, and that's why we can't never have nothing, because people have already beat us to the punch. Shut up, be silent, speak among each other from now on.
That moment alone sparked thousands of reactions online, with many saying it represented something much bigger than one misunderstanding.
Hey, white people, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused, and I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80-some% of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th, and they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests, and that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why, but I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow Black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much, and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with.
I would like to say to this gentleman and all other people who are not blessed with melanin at this point in time to understand that what has happened in our history is that you have been misinformed as much as we have been misinformed. Much of the information that is brought forth not only from Dr. Muhammad but other areas, other scholars are not available to you, as a sister said, in your curriculums that you have for 400 years when you did not allow us to read and write and was being hidden. Whether you, sir, personally did that or not, it was a legacy that was passed on to you. And I end by saying the Holocaust is simply the greatest atrocity on film. Ours was not filmed. Thank you.
As more videos started surfacing, the conversation became deeper. People weren't just talking about individual moments anymore. They were talking about history, generational trauma, and why so many emotions still exist today.
And gang, slavery was so bad, I don't even know how to...
I'm not so desperate to live around white people that I'm willing to be treated like dog shit. I really don't care. That I like, is that what you think I want to feel like? I want to live amongst white people so I could feel like I made it or something? I don't give a f.
You will maintain this safe place for yourself, for your art. You don't think you will ever change and write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially?
I have done.
In a substantial way?
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from a position of being in the center.
And being used to being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, you know, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
Many creators explain that the anger people are seeing now isn't simply about the past. It's about wounds many believe were never fully healed.
Look how much fun I'm having at that party. Once white women start getting drunk, I'm going home. I'm going to the house. This whole grew up talking about some, oh my God, she's drunk, can you help us? No, you can go to hell.
There's only ever been one time where somebody's accused me of stealing after I paid for something, and I paid like for a whole cart of shit, and then this white woman at the front of the store was like, we're gonna need to see your receipt. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And she looked at the receipt, and then I was like, okay, so now I want you to return all of this. And she's like, no, it's a misunderstanding. There was another lady in front of you and she didn't know. I'm gonna want you personally to return all of this. I want to watch you. She was pissed off. Yeah, girl, you know who's more mad? Me, because I just spent $150 in this and you accused me of stealing. So run it back. Give me my money now. And then I was like, and I'm gonna need to speak to your manager. She did not want to get that manager. Manager came out. You know I love to cry to make people feel bad. She just accused me of stealing after I spent all this money. Manager gives me a gift card. Lady sitting there looking stupid as because the manager was like, did you have any evidence of this? And the girl was stuttering. Yeah, exactly, because you knew I wasn't stealing. Don't piss me off.
They talked about how some families were able to pass down wealth, property, and opportunities, while others had to pass down survival instincts, caution, and lessons on how to navigate systems that didn't always treat them fairly.
I am done. As a black woman in America, I'm done fighting for other people. I'm done being at the front line of all of these movements, like begging people to treat other people correctly while no one has our back ever, but being like, okay, it's fine. Like, I still care about people and no one's gonna take that away from me. To see the people who showed up in droves to vote for Trump, I'm done. I'm worried about me and mine.
Now, because of these viral conversations, many people believe something is changing. More voices are speaking up, more stories are being shared, and more people are refusing to stay silent. Whether everyone agrees or not, one thing is clear. Conversations that once stayed behind closed doors are now happening in front of millions, and people are no longer afraid to speak their truth.